6 days of pure magic, Human Design Rave Festival 2024.
Here we are. So, welcome to Human Design Rave Festival 2024. And as a part of preparation for the festival, we're doing interviews with our amazing teachers. And today I want to introduce Pavaka, my dear colleague from Israel. Hello,
Hi,
and
everyone.
welcome. It's it's really very, very special for me to have you. As many of you probably know, I'm also spent a lot of my time in Israel. A big part of my life, including meeting human design system, also happened there. And yeah, so it's very, very, very touching and actually even emotional in this moment to have you. And Pavaka is one of the leaders of the human design system movement and is really doing incredible big education job there. I think you have the biggest group followers in the whole country, and your
Oh,
workshops and
really? Okay. I
retreats
have a
are,
pretty, yeah.
yeah, always full, and literally you through you lots if not thousands of people got to know this system. So first I want to know, what is your story with human design? How did you meet this system?
Okay. Thank you, Julia. First of all, I want to say my heart is really, your heart is kind of like very flattering, everything you say. I don't think about myself that way, but it's probably true what you're saying. And how did human design arrive into my life? Actually, it came through my beloved friend Smada, which we also do a lot of work together in the human design field. She has the 5125, and she kind of initiated this into my life like that. It took me almost 2 years from the moment it got into my life. And, I heard Ra, and there was this instant connection, but it took me a long time. I didn't know then that it was just my, inner authority, my emotional authority kind of taking it in. And then after a year and a half or two, I said, a session, a reading, like a human design reading, and that reading was just changed my life. It was a huge mutation that human design brought into my life. This was almost 11 years ago that we did this one session, and I stopped doing everything I did before. I was actually a spiritual teacher, theta healing master, blah blah. Well, not blah blah. I did a lot of good work, in my time in other fields, but it all stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. And so was this gap that I went in through mutation, and then started really working with human design. But for me, the most important thing is not the work with human design outside with people, but what it did to me, that it brought me into really living myself and being my own authority, and being, the passenger in the back seat. So hallelujah for that. I say human design. I love it.
Yeah, indeed. If it does not do mutation for us, yeah, how can we even move and pass it on?
Mm,
It's not information. Yeah, we are transmitting the frequency, and in order to transmit it, we are to be it, first of all. And
exactly.
it
Exactly.
leads me to the next question, because as many of us know, Israel at the moment is a hot spot on the planet, and things that are happening there are not, one-sided, and there's a lot of energy that moves around. And I know a bit of your personal story. I know that your son is actually has been in the party that the war started with, and I cannot imagine what it is to be a mother of the child who is wearing the army suit. And maybe it's a little bit personal, but I'm sure that for our people, it will be very interesting to hear this part of your personal story, and how literally the system and your work with it also influences your process at the moment, because all of it happens now. It's not some time in the past, it happens now. So how do you deal with that? And if you can share a bit of the story, please.
Sure. Yeah, you jumped right into the I liked it. Yeah, first of all, to say that, I mean, you say it's personal. It is a personal story, but for me, it feels totally impersonal. Everything that we are going through. And you say Israel is a hotspot, but actually, you know, we had a conversation, me and you, where we talked about there are so many wars in the world going on right now. But there's something about Israel in Israel. It's like very condensed. And that's why also very complex, and it brings, I feel, like this deepening into the breaking of the structure that is happening. I mean, it's already here. We see it since 2020. And it's going on now, hardcore in Israel, in the tribal programming. And my son, by the way, is my connection to the tribe. I'm very individual. I have only 2 gates in the tribe. One is 44 and one is 21. And my son has both 45 and 26. 26 is the soldier, by the way. You know, it's like the T cell. And at the time of and it's interesting for me because he's like he's my tribe, you know, and he's my connection to the tribe, because otherwise I'm not tribal at all, you know. But it's like I had this opportunity, and everything is an opportunity for me, as the way I see it, living, you know, living as self, so living as consciousness, watching the movie, you get these opportunities to really more this process that we are going through in this body. I'm not gonna stories, because everybody can see the stories on Telegram, and they can see the videos, and they can read about it, and there are so many sides, and it's so complex. I don't even go into that. But I really had an initiation because my son was there in the party, and yeah, he's a soldier, but he wasn't on uniform. He was just a young, beautiful, you know, one of all those beautiful, really angels. You see these kids, you know, they're all about peace and love, dancing, loving. And he was one of those kids. And when they saw rockets in the morning, before even everything started there, they were, you know, very splenic. Him and his friends are soldiers, and they're splenic, and they had a sense that something's wrong. They took themselves and they left, and there were a few miracles that morning. So that was one of them. And when they fled, they went into Kibbutz Be'eri, which is one of the, you say hotspot, one of the spots where really there was a terrible massacre going on. Then somehow they got there and grabbed weapons and basically started fighting with the, you know, with the people against the terrorists. So at that time, I woke up in the morning, you know, Saturday morning, I wake up and I hear something's going on. And then, you know, I see on Facebook, because I I don't watch news, or I don't have, you know, cables or anything like that for 30 years now. And I hear about the party, and I'm like, oh my God, my son is there. So, you know, I started texting, seeing where he is. And then I realized he's over there. We didn't know yet what really is going on. They didn't know. I mean, they were just there, kind of trying to understand. And it was a very, very, you know, stressful situation. But why I say initiation is because it was this amazing opportunity, which was a shock, by the way. You know, shock is one of the themes that are coming in 2027. And a day after that, we went into shock. We went to the 57, 51. And we all went through shock that day. In that shock, the most shocking thing for me, more than even, you know, the events, was to notice that my state of mind or state of consciousness is not moving in this. It's like, this is this human, and this human is a mother, Pavaka, and her son is there amidst all that is going on. She has no clue what's going to happen, you know, and I'm texting him, okay, just say you're okay. We're okay, Mom, you know, getting the news. But my consciousness was not moved. There was this silence, you know, my mind did not move. And I could feel my body, you know, at times just this wave, you know, this emotional solar plexus going like this, and my husband tells me, my husband, which is not, he's not his father, you know, and I was also in conversations with his father, but my husband is not his father. And he said, you know, it seems like I'm more worried than you. He's also a very calm person, you know, but. And I said, well, yeah, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. I could just wait. I mean, I can just be and wait, because there is no way that I can do anything. I mean, I started, you know, praying, or I like Ho'oponopono, so we call it cleaning. But mainly I was just immersed in this, you know, consciousness, watching what's going on the human level, which was, you know, such a mess. And the next few days were even worse, because on that day, it wasn't really clear what's going on. But after that, when it got clear, the atrocities that went on there, and the amount of people died and kidnapped, and you know, again, we'll not go into the stories. I just saw the, you know, the mind, the psychology of people going like this, you know, it was like uncontrollable. And I was just in the state of just inner peace with this. I mean, I could see that I hold this collective inside me. I am 5'1", I'm transpersonal, you know, but it didn't move me. It didn't move me, the consciousness that I am watching this. And this is, I mean, this is human design for me. You know, human design takes you to the place where you realize that what you are is not this human body, mind. I mean, you're both, because, you know, we have the design and we have the personality, but the personality, this I am that comes into the body, into the design, we're not that human. And this is something that came up in my mind, like, are you not human anymore? Are you not human? I mean, this is your son there, you're his mother. Yeah, it's like my mind is trying to convince me that I'm supposed to be worried, and I'm supposed to be stressing out. And if I'm not, it's not okay. Do I not care? Am I not a part of my tribe if I see it this way? You know, it was such a deepening into, well, I care deeply. I was crying and crying and crying, but just my emotions, not, you know, not any psychology of mind story put on it, just this pure cleansing, of the way from what's going on, but there was no movement. And it was really amazing, actually. I mean, it's like, this movie, what it brings to wake us up in the movie more. That's what I feel is going on. Yeah.
Wow. So in that state of being, you actually kept supporting the tribe with your state, and you kept doing Zooms and so on. Yeah. So you keep supporting people on both sides, because we're
Yes.
not supporting governments and we're not supporting the political games. And it's also very important to declare it. So we're really supporting humans, yeah, in this way. And if you can just share a couple words, like what's your work now on this level in Israel?
First of all, my work is changing all the time and revealing itself. So, I'm a manifestor, so a lot of my time, if I can say like that, the space, I'm just being. I'm just being. It's not like I'm working at it, but it's just there's bursts of inspiration when I know something and see something, and when I'm pushed by the universe, I'd like to call it that way because that's how it feels, to bring it out, then I do. And so what I felt very strongly is to give people perspective. So I have this digital course in Hebrew. It's called Our World Vision, that I did a few months ago. I always see how spirit is kind of like paving the way for the things that are coming, So a few months ago, I did this course where I talked about all the global cycles. I was teaching about the global cycles and to 2027 and the mutation and all that. And I gave energetic initiation called Our World Vision, which comes from Peggy Phoenix Dubrow, is a teacher of mine that I've been with for many, many, many years, that brought EMF to the world, electromagnetic field balancing technique. And she speaks like the same, but in different words, in her words. And the work that she does with the electromagnetic fields is like one-on-one, with aura. And I did this synthesis between the two crosses that are in the G that hold us, the locks and the new keys, with this energetic initiation that she brought. So I had this course that was digital, and I just kind of opened it for everyone to hear about the global cycles, because what I see is happening. I mean, it's like I can get shocked, but I don't really get shocked, because it's like in the corona, when it came, it was like, oh, okay, this is what Ra was talking about, right? I mean, we didn't know what it would look like, but we saw it coming. And with corona, it was the collective level. We know, the crosses are changing, and they're going from logic tribal to very individual integration. And I feel corona was like level 1. Well, level 1 was the collective logic, the country's UN, World Health Organization, and the truth coming out, the 61, the truth coming out about all this institutions, and for whoever wakes up, yeah. And just like the breaking down of the collective patterns. And now what I see, and this is it already began way before, like with Russia and Ukraine and all the wars going on in the world. Now it's like this escalation with Israel, but it already started stage 2, with other places. And my 4323 just was like, this inner voice was like, oh, okay, this is step 2. So this is level 2 now in the game. you know, get ready. It's going to be deeper because now it's the tribal, you know, it's this 4037. It's deep, you know, it's our deepest mammalian DNA kind of killer monkeys, you know, programs. And this is all happening. We're in, you know, we're in the quarter of duality, the end of the quarter of the duality, all the spleen gates, all the fears. And actually, this was all in Minerva, which is, you know, the goddess of both war and education, but very, you know, she went out of her father's head with the sword. And I mean, she's a goddess of war, you know, Minerva, and very tribal. 3 out of her 4 gates are tribal fears. You know, this was all happening in this context. So when you see the context, you can you can take a step back and kind of watch, because the mind gets so identified with everything that's going on. When you have a perspective, and this is the gift of human design, when you have a perspective, you can start watching and say, oh, this is what it is. Oh, I understand. And when I understand, I can let go. You know, when mind understands, it can say, okay, so let's just breathe in this. And so this is my work always, I feel, to give the perspective that enables people to kind of let go of thought and just move deeper into being, because it's all about that. I mean, if we're in the body, if we're breathing, if we, you know, if we can handle what's going on and we can embody it, then we survive, you know? I mean, mentally we survive. Our survival is not up to us. I mean, I will die, I will live, who knows? It's not up to me, you know? But our mental, our psychological survival in this ongoing mutation that is, you know, changing the whole matrix that we live in ways that we can't imagine. And each time it comes like a, you know, like a hit from existence, you know? So just to embody it, that's the only thing we can do. That's what I feel. So that's my work, I guess. And that's empowering the individual as well, you know, empowering the individual. So breaking the covenant. When you have the perspective, you can break the covenant, you know?
And
we're in 44 now.
Yeah, big time, yeah, with the. And that actually leads me to ask you the next question, because what you're saying is very much resonant also with your offering for the festival. So please,
Yes.
can you share with us what you are bringing to our festival, to the event?
Yes, it's interesting that you say it, because it is, because I mean, I guess that's my work, you know. I've been getting a lot of information in this mutation because it's happening in me, and I can see this movement that has, and it's a movement of thousands of years, you know. I mean, we went from the spleen and the 5 centered beings as an authority to the ajna as an authority, as 7 centered beings. And then around 300 years ago, this is the information rise talking about 9 centered beings. The authority went of survival to the emotional center. And suddenly what I can see is that this spiral is all going to the G, because, you know, the raves that are coming after us, that's going to be their authority. The G, the place, the high heart where the magnetic monopole is, you know, they're not going to have this self-identity that brings all these wars, you know. And so it's like 5, 7, 9, 11. 9, 11. Anyway, 5, 7, 9, and 11. And I can see, I can see this movement, you know, from the spleen, from the fear of the spleens to the fears of the ajna, trying to control it. And then you have to go into the emotions. There's no other way. You can't do it. And then you can kind of have like this quantum leap into the G center. And the G center is where the happening is, because 2027, the keys are changing. The locks are in the G. That's what Global Cycles is about. I'm sorry for the noise, by the way. I'm in Ibiza at my brother's house. And so there are some people here and they're moving around. That was my reflector daughter just passing here. She goes back and forth. I came here because I was in a workshop with Marianne for 5 days, which was amazing. And so this is, for me, the G is like really a place to understand now. And I have an open G, but I have the 10th gate and I have the 1 and the 2. Like Ra, it's my nodes, my personality nodes, gate 1 and 2. They're very interesting, the yin and yang holding us, like holding the magnet, the north and the south. And so a lot of what I am is when I am myself, intelligence-wise, like the place where we can be intelligent, where when we're open, I get a lot of information about the G center. And that's what I'm going to bring to the festival. I'm going to bring this information about the G, talking about the global cycles, but also talking about mutation and where it's taking us. So not like, just information about the global cycles. And it's going also to be a workshop. So because, I'm an immersion person, and I like to feel in the body and to have people feel in the body. I know that it changes the game. It really puts you in the energetic level, which is what human design takes to. I mean, human design is like, it seems like a very mental knowledge when you come across it, but actually it's all energetic. So bringing it into the body and feeling it and the energetics of it. So we're going to do some work with, auras with the G center. And this is the main thing. And if I have time, I will, and you guys have time and space for that. I told you I will also be happy to do something for manifestors. I love working with manifestors and manifestor groups. It's always a pleasure to kind of like initiate. That's basically it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that's exactly what we are aiming for, is that on the one hand, indeed, human design is the transmission from mind to mind, but the transmission itself, it's not mental information. And so in live in Sofia, that's what we are aiming for, is that most of the offerings are going to be experiential. So we can literally use this very rare opportunity of human design community, worldwide community of lone wolves, because there's no really such thing as human design community. Everybody's like feels quite lonely because it's knowledge that's not what you have a human design studio in your little town. It's just impossible by the nature of this knowledge.
Yes.
And so having this rare opportunity to get all together is, of course, yeah, we are going to have quite a couple of lectures, but mostly where we put attention is to create a playground. Yeah, this conscious, aware playground when we not always have to be serious. And your personal story for me is a huge inspiration. And you don't need to have 6 lines in your profile to be a role model of certain behavior, of how it can really be to be in this epicenter.
My 21 is six line actually. So my tribal is a little bit.
So we got it somewhere there. Yeah.
And my 10.
Yeah.
And my 10.
So yeah, you see, that's what's happening. And yeah, and we'll see. Of course, we're still in the process of forming the schedule, and it will be announced very, very soon. And for now,
I'm so
yeah,
excited about this festival. Say that last time that I always get together in the aura for things like that. I was just now in Ibiza 5-day workshop with Marianne, people from all over the world. The transformations that happen in the space, even just being together with people that are in the experiment, even before speaking, it's just so lectures and experiential. I mean, it was a mutation for me, really, to be there for a few days with human design people. That feeling that you can spend the day with people internationally that speak the language, you know, that each one is their individual expression. It's so interesting. I mean, it's so interesting. It's so different than what we know. So I really hope and invite, you know, people to come. It's so fun. It's so delicious to be together in the aura, really. I really hope you all come and join us. And thank you for doing that, Julia. You and Veronica. I mean, it's really great. We need more of that in the world, I feel.
Yeah, thank you. So, as a closing line, what would you wish to those who are watching it, those who are planning to come or still thinking to come, or those who cannot come but still want to come? Whoever is listening, what would be your kind of goodbye line and wisdom to share?
My wisdom, I think the simplest, most profound wisdom that human design has brought into my life, which is the beginning and the middle of the end and the end. And I always say, if you understand that, you understand everything. That's the best tip that Ra gave me and us, and that I can give anyone, is stop listening to your mind when it tells you what to do. That's it. So, you know, don't think about it. Just wait and move from your inner authority. And if you're supposed to be there, you'll be there. And if you're not going to be there, and everything. I mean, and it's going to be correct. If you come out of correctness, just don't listen to your mind when it tells you what to do or not to do, which is the same. Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for this moment together in this interview and your sincere sharing. And see you very soon in Sofia.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Get your tickets today. See you soon.